So may I please welcome the Global President of ICS, Mr. Punit Oza.
Yep. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Anupam. And it is an honor and a privilege to be here for this ceremony of ICS Mumbai branch. So let me first of all start by congratulating Captain Ashok, Captain Anupam, and all the office bearers of the ICS Mumbai and the organizers of this event. This, for me, is a real joy to see the kind of activity that I think the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers and most importantly, the maritime industry must continue to showcase. So thank you so much for doing this and great show on. Thank you. Also, a huge congratulations to all the awardees, also to all the students who have been successful in the examinations. I genuinely feel that the examinations and the awards like these are very, very special because normally if you have studied for traditional examinations in universities, you would have been marked or evaluated by academic excellent stalwarts. But in this case, you are evaluated by your own peers, your own industry stalwarts who actually have given you these high marks. That is a very, very special honor. So a huge round of applause to all the awardees and all the students. They really are special because their own peers and their own seniors have actually given them these high marks. That's a very, very special feeling. Let me come a little bit to the Institute, and the year that I've been the president has actually been an eye-opener for me as well. I was the vice president for 2 years before this, but I must say as the president, I've had the chance to see the Institute and its branches in much closer quarters, including the Mumbai branch. With regard to the value of the title of MICS or FICS, I have seen stories in the last 1 year which have basically reinforced in me the value that the Institute brings to the industry and to individual people. Talking about Sanskrit or the Bhagavad Gita, the word title in Sanskrit is known as Upadhi. Unfortunately, the word Upadhi in Gujarati is also a bit of a nuisance, but we don't want to go there. But basically, the Sanskrit word Upadhi is coming from this idea that you are basically conferred with something, an additional title, an additional trait, an additional value, which basically imbibes or inculcates something which you already have, and together, the sum total of those two is actually very special. So the traditional example given in Sanskrit in the Vedas and the Upanishads is red crystal. So when crystal on its own is colorless, acquires red color, it becomes fascinatingly beautiful because it is red crystal. Similarly, when you are actually here as an industry professional, you are obviously doing very well and you have your own niche in your own space, but the master's member or the fellowship of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, MICS or FICS, is an upadhi which comes to you and which enhances and creates a new you, which is basically having knowledge, which is having education, but even more importantly, the power to network and lead. That is what I believe the Institute actually does throughout the life of a member. At the early stages, it provides vital education and understanding of what the business is all about. I have been a proponent of mandatory education in commercial shipping for many years. Unfortunately, it is not happening. But if you have the chance, you must acquire professional qualifications. It does differentiate you, and ICS does an amazing job doing that. The second thing that ICS does later part of your career is to, like Mr. Ramesh mentioned, professional qualification and development, continuous professional development is something that we can do through seminars, through events and other aspects. We are trying to create more global events now. We are trying to do them more online. So obviously that's creating better value for the global audience as well. Finally, networking and leadership. When you get to a mid-level stage in your career, a senior level stage in your career, education and qualifications and professional knowledge is good, but you're really ready to contribute in a much bigger way. And that is why the Institute is also offering the ability to lead, take leadership in the various committees, in the various areas where the Institute is active. So summary of my saying this is to you is that when you are successful in these examinations, when you become a member, when you become a fellow, you don't just say that this is the end of the road. It is actually the beginning of a really amazing journey which continues throughout your life. And it enhances your professional qualifications. It enhances your work. I have seen it myself for the last 30 plus years that I've been in the industry. Every single aspect of the Institute work has got some relevance to your job and to add value to you, your clients, and your business. So this is not a qualification which is a dormant one. It's a living qualification, and it is our endeavor, both the senior officers in the Institute and all the branches globally, to eventually try and create that living qualification as a very vibrant one. Today, we have the luxury of global senior officers in the Institute for the first time in the history of the Institute, over 100 years now. We have got a vice chairman who's from Dubai. We've got a chairman who's from Spain but lives in Denmark. We've got a president who's right now in Singapore, but essentially from an Indian origin. And most importantly, we've got an incoming vice president who comes from Greece. So the more will come out on the public announcement in October. But the idea I'm trying to make is that we are not basically having a localized institute which was traditionally UK-centric, but we have a global institute which is basically encompassing the entire world. So please try and utilize that network as a member, as a fellow of the Institute, to go out and tap into every single other member or fellow that is available to tap into. You travel to a destination, look up who are the local branches and the members there, try and see how you can get your support and business expanded through them as well. It's a totally win-win situation. And that's the story that I would like to share in the last 1 year. The next 1 year that I've left as the president of the Institute, I will continue to try and create that vibrant, living qualification and the journey that the Institute has to offer. So the last word is to my awardees and the students, that all of you are coming in at a time when the Institute is going through a very, very crucial change. Please try and be the catalyst for that change, because your ideas are fresh and you don't have the baggage with you. So we look forward to more participation and more value adds from our younger members and students going forward. And that is really heartening to see in this function. So thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Can I please have Captain Mohan Naik to give the memento to our global president?
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Thank you so much, sir.